Welcome to the Dummy Kruger channel, everyone. Today's video takes us to a marijuana dispensary located in Springfield, Missouri to watch the arrest of JC News Now, an arrest that could potentially land him 2 years in prison. The possibility of a 2-year sentence is not a result of the alleged crime he committed in this video, but stems from an apparent parole violation after he pled guilty to felony harassment this past April. I've covered numerous First Amendment auditor arrests before, but I must say, this one is particularly dumb, which, quite frankly, only adds to the entertainment factor. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe, hit the notification bell, like, and comment below. Let's jump right in.
There's several of them around. Okay.
I was just curious why you were recording my girlfriend.
I'm not. I'm recording anything I can see in public.
Okay.
Yeah. Hey, how are you?
You out here recording them?
I'm recording.
Okay.
You're getting a little close.
Well, it's private property.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
It's private, open to the public.
Are we on TikTok too? I've seen those.
Yep.
Oh, me too.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm Tim Kelly on air on TikTok.
Pardon?
I'm at Tim Kelly on air. You need to follow me on TikTok.
All right, I'll follow you, man. When you see the video, follow me, man. Hit me up. Say I'm the guy that come out of...
All right, but no, seriously, it is private property, and we'll call the police if we have to. So we have to ask you to leave.
You can call anybody you want. It's
All right.
open to the public.
Yes, this shopping center did open their doors and parking lot for the public. However, it retains the right to remove individuals from its property under most circumstances. If they don't want Jimmy...
What was his name again?
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Right.
who is known for stalking and harassing women, leading to protection orders, to record on their property, they are well within their rights to ask him to leave.
No, I wouldn't.
I'm just gonna take a quick picture of
Okay, take that with you.
you. Okay, there we go.
All right.
I'm gonna take a quick video.
Okay.
Hey,
Good
why are
deal.
you flipping me off? There's no need to flip me off.
What's called a cam back? It's called a BAM.
I mean, that's really rude to flip me
All
off.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't like the camera?
Oh no, I love the camera.
I wasn't recording your girlfriend,
The
but I'm
thing
going to
is,
now.
like, I came up all nice to you, just
Yeah.
asking you what you're doing.
I was just giving you a good video. Bet. All right.
And this is how we know a lot of these freedom fighters aren't actually out there fighting for the First Amendment. We couldn't see it, but it was clear Jimmy flipped this guy off because, wait for it, he didn't like being recorded. Hypocrisy. Thy name is Jimmy.
Oh yeah, Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Is there something I can help you with?
No, I'm doing good. Thank you.
Okay, so we can't have people recording because like soliciting,
What's your name?
and
Ashley.
I don't believe that's for HIPAA and stuff.
HIPAA. Do you
so
know?
this is a
medical.
yeah, and I just
get that.
is there something I can help you with or
No,
anything?
but I'll inform you that the onus is on you to protect information. I'm not part of the medical
Correct.
field,
Yeah, but just
so
out
I
of
don't have to obey HIPAA.
Okay, yeah, just out of courtesy, would you mind?
When I get done, did y'all call the police?
I haven't called anybody. I just out of courtesy, I was curious if you wouldn't mind to take a break.
Sure. As soon as I finish my story, I'll get out of here. Fair enough.
What news source are you with?
I'm independent.
Independent.
Mhm.
Okay, and what's the story over?
Well, I can't disclose that until it's published.
Okay, okay.
The responsibility to keep patients' information private is on the medical provider, in this case, a marijuana dispensary. What's one way to keep that information private? You guessed it, keeping creeps like Jimmy.
Jimmy couldn't jump at all before he got these. Jimmy was like you.
From video recording on their property. HIPAA seems to always get thrown around a lot in these situations, yet it's basically just a federal law that regulates the use and disclosure of individuals' health information. It was enacted during a period marked by a significant rise in electronic health records, and HIPAA introduced safeguards to protect the security of people's health information. As far as his alleged secret story that he's working on, isn't it time to get a new line? These auditors like to refer to channels such as mine as sheep, yet they are the ones regurgitating the same idiotic lines over and over and over. It's really time to come up with something new.
I'm not asking for anything.
Okay, so
I'm
this...
simply exercising my First Amendment right to the freedom of press.
Okay, but this is private property.
Right, but you don't own it.
Do you need the face of the person who owns it?
Well, if he comes out here and tells me to get off of it, I will.
Okay, I can make that happen if that's what you need. Okay.
Up to you.
Jimmy, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Hey, not too bad. Why don't you keep your hands out of your pockets?
I'm not detained.
Well, right now, so you're in front of the store, just for, I
right.
can't see your hands, so you can
All
hang out there, you're fine.
Okay.
Jimmy, why are you recording them?
I'm working on a story.
Okay, what kind of store are you running?
I'm not going to answer it until it's published.
Oh, Jimmy.
That's Jimmy.
There is no story.
Okay, I get it. I'm sure there's a lot of competition for this kind of stuff. So is you guys together then?
I'm not going to answer any questions.
Okay. Well, Jimmy, here's the thing. So this is private property.
Open to the
Okay.
public.
It's a business, though.
Open to the public. This
are
whole
right.
sidewalk is.
First Amendment auditors claim to be fighting for the rights of the people, correct? So why do they disregard the rights of property owners? It's almost if their activism isn't about upholding rights at all. Otherwise, these type of audits wouldn't be taking place. Isn't that right, Jimmy?
Well, Jimmy's very unusual.
So Jimmy, here's the thing. So you're kind of correct. So this business is open to the public. You are right. But this business is a private business, right?
Their curtilage ends at the door.
What was it?
Their curtilage ends at the door. I did my research.
Okay.
This sidewalk's open to the public to use.
Okay. So here's the thing. I'm just passing a message along to you,
Yeah.
okay? So this is private property. You're right. It is a public business where people can come and go and they can do whatever they need to do. But this private business also has asked that they don't want you on their property. So don't go into the store.
I won't go in their store.
Be on their business. Now, this whole separate property, what we'll do too is they also don't want you on that property, okay? So
Okay.
although this is a sidewalk, this is different than that sidewalk out there. So if you want to go to that sidewalk in the grass,
All
go
right.
for it.
Did the property, did the whole property owner trespass me?
Yep.
Who asked him?
It doesn't matter.
Who solicited the trespass?
If you'd like,
That matters.
it sure does.
That's a 14th Amendment violation.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy is pretty sweet on you.
You silly goose. Please explain to me like I'm a 5-year-old how this is a 14th Amendment violation. Because it doesn't matter who the hell brought this to the attention of the property owner. They want you gone. Now beat it, Jimmy.
Jimmy might have a compound fracture. Jimmy's going into shock. Jimmy's gonna get you, Kramer. Jimmy holds grudges.
So ultimately, what can happen is if the private business owner wants to pursue charges, which they do, if you don't leave, they are willing to sign a summons to go to court.
Okay.
So what that means is they'll have to go to court, and then you'll have to go to court.
Right.
That summons would be a chance for all this to get fought out.
Okay.
So if you'd like to report over there, zoom lens, do whatever you need to do, and you might be able to avoid some.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes, sir.
Will you arrest me if I don't leave this publicly accessible sidewalk?
It's publicly accessible, but it's not publicly owned, just like that sidewalk.
It's publicly accessible, though. That's the difference.
That's correct. It is publicly accessible, but it is private property.
Are you going to arrest me if I don't leave this publicly accessible sidewalk?
Well, why would we have to go that route?
Well, I just need to know, because if you're not, I'm going to continue doing what I'm doing. But if you threaten me with arrest, I'm going to file a lawsuit against you
Okay.
and take your qualified immunity from you,
Okay.
and I'm going to sue the city.
Okay.
But so it's up to you, man. You're not a feelings enforcer.
Here, the officer tried to explain to Jimmy,
Jimmy doesn't like misunderstandings.
like a 5-year-old, the difference between publicly accessible property and property owned by the public. He just didn't get it. Instead, he used pretty much every auditor phrase out there.
Right now you are being detained.
Okay.
You're not under arrest, but you're not
Right.
free to leave while we're investigating this trespassing.
You're
okay?
investigating a trespass. I haven't been trespassed.
You don't have to be trespassed.
Yes, you do, sir.
Sir.
You can only detain me if I come back.
Well, yes, in a lot of cases that's correct. I say a lot because the majority of people that are asked to leave a property don't stay on the property. You, Jimmy,
Jimmy can dunk. Jimmy's new in town. Jimmy will see you later.
are still there. You are already trespassing.
Yeah, I'm very clear on it. I don't think you're clear on the trespassing law.
Okay.
First, I got to be asked to leave. And then if I don't leave, then it's a crime.
Oh, Jimmy.
Jimmy, good talking to you.
You literally just admitted your guilt. Approximately 25 minutes ago, this was said.
But no, seriously, it is private property, and we'll call the police if we have to. So we have to ask you to leave.
You can call anybody you want. It's open to the public.
Okay.
First, I got to
So-
be asked to leave. And then if I don't leave, then it's a crime.
So we have to ask you to leave.
Not only have you recorded yourself committing this crime and uploading it to YouTube, you've now recorded yourself admitting to it and uploading it to YouTube. Really well done.
So do you know, they changed the law a few years ago. Do you know the difference between first degree and second degree
Yes.
trespassing?
Yes.
What is it?
I've read it all.
Okay, what it?
Okay, I'm not going to answer any more questions since I'm detained. I'll remain
Hey,
silent.
that is your right.
Okay. Let me know when I'm free to go.
I will.
No good one, Jimmy.
Jimmy and misunderstandings kind of clash.
We all totally believe you know the difference.
What can I do for you, Officer Chronister?
He's not answering questions right now.
Oh, it's not?
No.
Why's that?
Because he doesn't answer questions, obviously. And stop with the directives, Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy. That's the guy who sidelined Jimmy.
You gonna
Hey,
take
Jimmy, let's see here right now. Just because you are being detained, that you're
Okay.
being investigated for a crime. Let me just get some information from you here.
No.
What was that?
No.
Jimmy, are you failing to identify yourself while being investigated for a crime?
If I'm lawfully arrested,
You're detained.
Okay.
Lawful detention. So City of Springfield, it doesn't have to be an arrest. So if it's a lawful detention, arrest,
Well, I
or
don't-
stop, you
okay.
do have to identify yourself.
I don't have to help you with your investigation, right?
Okay, but you do have to identify yourself as a suspect of this trespassing that we're investigating, okay?
I don't have to help you with your investigation.
You do have to identify yourself.
You don't have to help
What's
us.
That's
that?
a legal requirement. You have to
you do have
identify
to
yourself.
I can remain silent, right?
Yep. For self-incrimination, but you do have to identify yourself for this trespassing that we're investigating.
Am I being arrested?
You're being detained.
Will you arrest me if I don't identify?
Yes.
You will.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
you will be under arrest for failing to identify.
Well, I take that back. I guess he does answer questions. And pertinent ones at that.
Really?
Yep. The municipal, the way that it reads,
Okay. What do you
is
want
a
now?
lawful detention,
Since you
arrest, or stop. It's
Un-
actually under the same category. So right now, you are being detained.
All
Okay. So you do have to identify yourself.
Under.
When are they going to learn that when these start coming on, it's time to stop playing pretend activist? Picking up on these obvious cues doesn't seem to be a strong point for Jimmy.
Jimmy's out of work because of you. Jimmy! What's a piece of crime? Come on now! Get your hands off Jimmy!
You have your constitutional rights to not answer any of our questions. You can
Right.
be completely silent. I encourage it if you'd like.
That includes even identifying. I don't have to.
It's
Say,
not.
I don't have to say a word.
Okay. Well,
I'll put it to you this way: under
Yes.
threat of arrest.
it's not a threat of arrest.
Yes,
it's
he-
just the next progression that we have to go towards. But
It-
it's not a threat.
under-
it's actually a fact. You
under-
will be arrested.
That's it. That's all I need to hear. Okay. What do you want to know?
Just your name.
Jimmy Haig.
Okay, let me write it down. Okay.
Okay.
So I was gonna say we were gonna have to put
All
you
right.
in handcuffs, take you to jail.
Yeah.
You know, you don't
Yeah.
seem like you want to deal with that. You know.
Yeah.
You seem like a good guy. It's too hot out here to be messing
Yeah.
with that kind of stuff.
You're wrong, sir. You're very wrong. I don't have to identify.
You do have to identify
No,
yourself.
you
Yeah.
don't. That's why I'm doing this. To train y'all better.
You have to identify yourself if you're the suspect of a crime. What the crime right now is trespassing.
I haven't trespassed.
You are trespassing on this private property.
No, it's not.
This is private property.
It's private, open to the public.
This is
All
private
right,
property.
wait.
It's no different.
What do you
than,
want
like,
to need to know?
We deal with this pretty often.
I'm done with you. You're dismissed.
Okay, to any auditors or their followers that may watch this, I really welcome your insights on this last clip. I'm genuinely curious about your opinions about what we just watched. In that 45-second segment, none of the statements he made were accurate. As I've demonstrated earlier, he is presently trespassing. While the property is private yet open to the public, business owners retain property rights, and those rights include being able to remove him from the property. Additionally, when under investigation for suspected crimes such as trespassing, the obligation to identify oneself does apply. Honestly, what am I missing here?
Okay. How do you spell your first name, sir?
Jimmy.
You're turning into Jimmy.
Hey, Jimmy. How do you spell your last name?
What's your first name?
I don't have to give you that, Jimmy.
Well, I'm willing to exchange. I'm willing to give it to you.
Well, that's not how this works, Jimmy. I'm going to give you one more chance. Okay.
Okay.
Give
All
me
right.
your information, or you're going to go in handcuffs and you're going to go to jail.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Okay, it's Haig.
How do you spell that?
H-A-A-G.
Jimmy makes the shot.
H-A what?
A-G, two A's.
A. Okay. And Jimmy, what's your birthday? Your social?
I'm not
Or
giving
your
you
driver's
that.
license number.
Okay.
I don't have to give you that.
Hey, Jimmy, you're under arrest.
I'm under arrest.
Yes, Jimmy.
I have to give you my
Hands on
social.
back.
All right, can I give him my camera?
You're under arrest, Jimmy. I'll hold it for a second. But you need your camera in your back.
Hands off, Jimmy! Don't touch Jimmy!
We got cameras, you got cameras, so. I'll give you my social. Say, Jimmy, we're gonna go to jail today. I'm more than willing to give you my information. You want all this stuff to go to jail with you, or do you want to go with your friend? Okay. Anything that you want to have stay with you? No. Okay. I'm gonna take your Missouri license because we don't know who you are.
Andy had his Missouri driver's license this whole time, which was one of the options the officer gave him.
And your social?
I'm not
Or
giving
your
you
driver's
that.
license number.
And has anyone ever seen a better F around and find out face than this? Jimmy,
Jimmy would like to get to know you.
this is your legacy. JC News Now would only spend a few hours in jail and was bailed out later that day. Here's what he had to say at the time.
They got me for trespassing and failure to ID. Aren't those supposed to be tickets? They didn't even ask me to leave. Well, they said I was on a shopping center sidewalk that's open to the public.
JC News Now is officially charged with criminal trespass and failure to produce license on demand. He has pleaded not guilty to these two charges and has a pre-trial conference set for December 11th. However, this is where it gets sticky for our freedom fighter. He took an Alford plea earlier this year for felony harassment, where he was able to stay out of jail but landed himself on 2 years of supervised probation. JC had a probation revocation hearing on November 14th, which I can confirm took place. The only other information available at this time from the Missouri court's website is this sunshine request he submitted for a copy of the transcripts from that hearing. Now, I was going through the process of submitting my own request, but before I sent it to the courts, I decided to do a little bit more digging. I checked the jail rosters. Nothing. I checked his YouTube page to see if he had mentioned anything about this hearing at all. Nothing. So right before sending the request for the transcripts, I remembered what my 100% real and not made up at all journalism professor once told me. He said, and I quote, "Any good fake independent journalist working on a story never stops searching for the truth when it comes to a fake activist." So I persisted. And I finally found my answer when JC News Now made an appearance on the YouTube channel American Amy.
They revoked my probation yesterday or day before.
Oh, that stupid ticket.
Yeah, so I might be going away for a little bit.
Oh my God. Like, how long?
The prosecutor asked for a year immediately. And
What
the
the fuck?
judge said, I'm not giving him a year for a jaywalking ticket. He said, Miss JC, I'm going to go sleep on this and I'll let you know what's up. My attorney asked for $100 fine. I was like, yeah. I was thinking about that.
Yeah, that would be, yeah.
The judge said, I'm going to think about it a little bit. Right. The prosecutor had me on the stand. And he asked me, he said, where'd you get your journalism degree? And I said, James Madison and the Founding Fathers.
Okay.
He didn't like that too much. And he said, but do you have a degree? I said, no, sir. I just read a lot of case law and I read the Constitution. You want to see? And I pulled out my copy. I said, this is my degree.
Hilarious, JC. You really showed that judge. And it wasn't just the prohibitive crossing ticket that he received this past June. Per the violation report, it was for multiple instances of breaking the special conditions of his release, including the arrest we just covered. When I receive more information about his new sentence, I will review it along with the felony harassment conviction and his violation of a protection order from the woman he was harassing. Please make sure to watch this space for that update. So saying all that, I think I'll let Jimmy Boy take us out today. What say you, freedom fighter?
Well, the trolls are going to have a fun day with this one. I don't give a rat's ass. Fuck them. Fuck them.
Aw, come on. Why would you say such a thing?
Jimmy.
Jimmy.
Jimmy. Jimmy. Jimmy.
Jimmy! Jimmy, 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 Jimmy,
Jimmy. 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 Jimmy.
Will you stop with the Jimmys?
I don't think so.
Jimmy's Jimmy.
Jimmy. Jimmy.
Jimmy, Jimmy,
Jimmy.
Jimmy,
Jimmy. Jimmy.
Jimmy, 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 Jimmy.
I don't know how I'm gonna explain this shit to my mom. She's not gonna be happy. She don't know, does she?
I don't have your mom's number.